So where are we up to in the story? After Bible college, I got married, and my husband was on a career path of becoming a missionary pilot, and he decided to quit that after we got married and to do something that was more suitable for both of us, not just for him. And we went to Youth with a Mission and did what's called a discipleship training school. That was a very in-depth time of going within, prayer, healing, learning about missionary life, lots of different things. That was a very intense time. And it was actually there that I first encountered the mirror effect. Now, there was a group of people who had been with Youth with a Mission for quite a while, and they were our leaders, and they were, they were supporting us in our training and our school. And there was one who I very much saw something in her that was pain, wounds that were not healed, and issues that were really lit up to me and standing out. And in the context of this school, there was a lot of people giving insights and impulses and words and pictures to each other for our inner growth. So we were in the practice of speaking to each other in this manner. And I spoke to this one particular lady who I saw these things in, and she responded very negatively. She wasn't open to that at all. She said, "But I've done a lot of healing. For me, it's already gone, dealt with." And I was like, that's strange. And later on, I was chatting to someone else, another student in our course, a nice gentleman from England, and he said, yeah, you got to be careful with that. That's the mirror effect. You've got to discern or decide whether the issue you're seeing in the other person is really theirs and you're meant to say something, or whether it's reflecting your own stuff. And I was like, I had never heard of that phenomenon before, and it made a lot of sense. And it is something that I developed over the years and began to notice more in certain situations with certain people, and could use that for my own inner journey, my own inner growth, rather than just telling the other person. I became very careful about which situations I would say something in and which were not appropriate to say something in. After our main training period of time in Australia, we went to India for 8 weeks, and that was amazing, eye-opening, culture shock. We wore their clothing. I wore Punjabi. I had several in different colors. They were so beautiful. I was married, but I didn't want to wear a sari because I didn't feel comfortable showing skin at that point in time. And yeah, we were in the north, in the mountains. Beautiful, beautiful. And later we were in the south, where it was flat and hot, and we were in a big city with all the traffic craziness that goes on down there. And the mountains were definitely my favorite part. During our time there, we went to a hospital with patients with long-term illnesses, incurable illnesses. We divided up into male and female because the patients were separated, and a small group of us went into a room with about, I think, 4 or 5 women in it, and it was a fairly small room. They each had a bed in a small room, cramped together. And I took my guitar. I had been leading worship and in my training school, and for our group that went to India, it was a smaller group. I was practicing with my guitar and voice a lot. And at this hospital, I sung one of my songs that I had written. And they didn't understand a word we were saying. They didn't understand anything I was singing. We prayed for them. I sang my song. And when I was finished and I opened my eyes and looked around, the ladies were crying. They were weeping. And my first reaction was, oh, what have I done wrong? I made someone cry. But they were so touched. They were deeply touched by the emotion in my song and the meaning of it. They could feel it. And that was part of it that they identified with and really touched them. And I was amazed by that reaction. And this song I'm going to sing for you today, it's one of the first songs I ever wrote. It's in a Christian context and about longing to feel that love and longing to feel loved and held. Okay, so I got to get my guitar. I want to talk with you. I want to see your face. I want to know your grace. For who will love me like you love me? I'll never leave this place. And who will hold me like you hold me in your warm embrace, your warm to hold me in your warm embrace, your warm embrace, your warm embrace, your warm embrace. After our trip to India, we actually moved to Germany, which was another total culture shock. And we stayed there for 2 years. We were also with Youth with a Mission in Germany. We were actually at the World Soccer Cup in Munich in 2006. And then we moved back to Melbourne. And in Melbourne, we settled there. We were in the same area as the Bible College in the outskirts of Melbourne. We went to the same church again that we had been before, and we started getting involved with a group of people who spent time with those less fortunate people who had been through a really hard time, and often they're called street people, but they don't live on the street. They just kind of had a really hard time in their lives and been chewed up and spit out by society as well, and the system can't really help them. People with alcohol and drug issues, people with failed marriages and kids to multiple people, can't hold down a job, can't pay the rent, get kicked out regularly, all that kind of thing. In church, even though I went to this church while I was at Bible college and we were going there again, we didn't really make friends. During Bible college, we didn't have enough time to really spend time more than Sunday morning with the group of people that went to church. To get to know people and make friends in a church, you've got to have a home group that you go to regularly. You've got to be doing some sort of outreach or ministry with people with a group on a regular basis. It takes time to get to know people, and we couldn't give them that time. And this time, coming back this time, we also somehow couldn't form these relationships. We were not interested in home group. We were in this other ministry group, and they were more like our home group than the church. But my singing, my songwriting, my passion for using my voice and sharing my voice continued, and I actually ended up joining the worship team at church, or one of them. They had many because it was a big church. So I would sing harmonies. I was the number 2 singer, not the lead singer. And at that time, my aspiration was to become a worship leader, because I thought, okay, that's the path for me. That's the only way to do this more, which I gave up later. It turned out not to be my path at all, but that's okay. At that time, that was my aspiration, and I loved it. I loved singing on stage. I loved using my voice, and when the song was finished, I would often keep singing and the leader would be standing there going, what's she doing? Oh, okay, we're doing that now. Because I just wanted to go with the flow, with the energy, and yeah, that was a bit challenging for them, I think. I learned a lot. I learned more self-confidence singing in front of people, and I was practicing with my voice, and I could try out different things, which was an amazing opportunity. I was only in the worship team for about a year. In that time, there was the church brought in a songwriting course, so I did that, and that was amazing. In the church, there was a desire for artists, songwriters, singers to share their own music, their artwork with the community, and the Sunday morning service wasn't able to give them that. So I actually started an evening event at the church. I organized it and I decorated the room and I shared my songs and I painted and I did everything. It was crazy. There was no team to help me. Everybody else worked full time. I was the only one who worked part-time, and I had time during the day to set things up, to organize things. And those events were amazing. And the amount of original songs and creative artwork and stuff that came out into expression on those evenings was amazing. So that was a really good experience, even though if I did it again, I would not do it all by myself. That was a bit crazy. Yeah, but I really wanted it to happen, so I just did it. The ministry team that we hung out with, that were kind of our home group and worked with street people, we often went to a dinner at someone's house somewhere else who cooked for others, and was kind of like a home group situation, but it was just a giving time. They cooked food for whoever came and wanted to spend time. And at one of their evening meal times, I shared some of my story. I had a painting on display that I had painted, and I sang a couple of my songs and used them to tell my story. And the comments I got and the way people were deeply touched, because I was very open, and that was amazing. And yeah, I get compliments now and then for my voice, my singing, my songs, whatever. I'm still learning to accept compliments. Yeah, that was really amazing, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed sharing from my heart, using my art and my music and my voice. That felt really good for me. One Sunday morning service, when I got down from stage and the worship time was over, a lady came up to me. It was like a break time. And I had been wearing red shoes that day. And I also, by that time, the worship team found a song that was in my range, which I could lead, and I sang the lead melody in, and I just put my heart into it, as I always do. And this lady came up to me and said that she was all lit up and excited. Her energy was really like on fire, and she told me that she saw my feet in flames as I was singing. I was like, oh, cool, that's nice. I didn't really know what to say, but I was like, wow. And she seemed really touched by that. And I mean, in those circles, people see things sometimes, but not all the time, not on a regular basis. And she seemed really touched by that herself. And yeah, that was amazing. And at the time, I didn't know what to do with that, but okay, great. When I sang in front of people, I opened my heart, and I didn't look at the congregation. I didn't look at the people. I always looked up. I found it distracting to look at the people, because then you give opportunity for self-doubt and comparison. Oh, what are they thinking about me? And getting nervous. So I would look up, and the ceiling of the church wasn't that nice to look at, actually, but I would look up and be sort of looking into the spiritual realm in full great spirit. Yeah. That was a good time. After about 1 year on the worship team, I actually quit for many, many, many reasons, all clumped together. One of which was still that I didn't have friends in the church, and I didn't have close connections to the people in my worship team. And yeah, there were many other things. And my husband also had stopped going to church. He'd moved on already from Christianity, or from that version of Christianity, and he was doing his own thing. We were still with the ministry group, working with street people, but not going to church, and I quit as well. So eventually, after 7 years of marriage, we got pregnant, had a baby, and my family is very spread out all over Australia, which is very difficult. It makes it difficult to visit, to see them often. It's very timely and very costly to travel that far very often. And we wanted our daughter to have grandparents, so we decided to move to Germany permanently, which was very hard. We had no church, of course. We had left the church by that time. We had no group that we belonged to, no friends. I had no family there. I was totally on my own.